Thank you so much for being here with us. You know, the thing is, the art market, even though this is a design event, but art and design are so closely related. We'll talk a little bit about the art market. How has it grown in the last few years? Could you tell our audience what has been the growth trajectory?
Yeah, I mean, look, art and design go together, right? In terms of architecture, they always sort of complement each other.
Yeah.
And I think art market has grown because the appreciation in the art market from the buyers, from different connoisseurs have sort of increased quite drastically over the years. I think the market was somewhere around 13 crores or something in the year 2000.
Yeah.
To today, it is roughly around 1,800 crores in terms of the total turnover of the market. So it's grown quite drastically over the years. It is expected to grow at this scale, in fact, a little faster, as you've got a lot of influential and sort of, individuals who are now starting to buy Indian art quite a bit.
Yeah.
So naturally, that growth is going to go in the higher scenarios.
So when you say, when we're talking about the art market growing, overall, these figures you're talking about are for the art market, do you see the same interest right now in collecting design? Are you seeing design coming up?
So, look, when you're going for art, then one of the first things it needs to do is complement what is there in your house.
Yeah.
So naturally, design is an aspect for it. There are certain individuals who might go for a lot of artists that are into line designing.
Yeah.
There are certain in terms of abstract. It all depends on how it complements your house. That's generally the baseline where people start from. Of course, you've got collectors who go a lot more beyond it in terms of the story of the artist and things of that nature.
Yeah.
But aesthetics are always the fundamentals where it starts. So yeah, I would certainly say that it always is an anchoring point in terms of that it complements design. And it needs to go with the architecture of the house. So that's when you end up sort of going for it.
And how has the taste changed? I mean, what's your view on, say, digital art?
Well, yeah, digital art, there was a lot of NEFT thing that had come up in the middle. We was a little skeptical on it. We were not really sure how this is going to grow. I believe there's still a lot of skepticism over there because art, no matter what you end up saying, it's all about expression of an artist. That's why they are valued at what they are valued, because you've got one unique item which has taken an artist maybe a year or so to sort of create it, and in different mediums.
Yeah.
And digital has a very different sort of aspect to it, and sometimes it is a lot more clinical, which is why probably it may not necessarily have the same sort of an emotion attached to it. So yeah, I would say digital art is growing, but not necessarily at the scale of what a general art or an artist is producing in that sense.
So if we talk about the top selling artists, could you name a few modern masters?
I think the one which has really made news quite recently is when it ended up selling MFSN, which sold for 119 crores. That's one of the most expensive artwork which has ever been sold. It's followed by, you've got the Guy Tondes, you've got Manjeet Baba, you've got Swaminathan, which sold for 40 crores, in an auction. So there are some of these names which will always be there because they are modern masters. They have a certain imprint in the entire industry, which you are collecting them for that purpose.
So are you seeing a similar interest in contemporary artwork?
Quite a bit, in fact. So when you're looking at the art, it's broken down into, you've got the masters, which are basically a little bit more earlier than you've got the Raja Ravi Varmas, the Jamini Roys and things of that nature, and followed by your modern artists. So you've got the S.H. Raza, MFSN, Souzas and things of that nature. Then you've got something called as the contemporaries. Yeah. Now, this is where you've got the budding sort of artists who are sort of coming in now. And certainly that is growing quite a bit. In fact, it's grown a lot more than the modern artists in the year. I mean, 2024 and 25. They've grown at 33% compared to around 12% for the modern art.
And would you say that it's the art fairs, like the India Art Fair, I mean, would you credit them for so much exposure to contemporary art and, even modern masters? And do you think that's why the buying has increased?
Yes, certainly. I mean, look, you need an infrastructure for the growth, right? So people, there has to be an outreach program. Letting people know about it is always going to be very important, which means is that you've got the biennales, you've got the art fairs. We've done a show called Shauqeen last year, which is going to be now a yearly thing as well. And in there particularly as well, you would see that there has been a lot of response because there's a lot of engagement with individuals, with a lot of collectors to sort of, and we made this public as well. So naturally, you've got a lot more individuals coming and understanding about the art. And they create a funnel for people, maybe first-time buyers to even the ones who buy this on a regular basis to come in as well. So yeah, certainly it does.
So I know I can see the times, we've run out of time, but quickly, can you tell us about Shauqeen?
So yeah, Shauqeen is an IP that we've started. It's actually a word play. It's show, which is spelled as show, and keen. So Shauqeen is another word for something that is an interest for you, and so that's how we've played around with that word. And it's an IP that AstaGuru has started last year. We did one successful show, and now it's going to be an annual thing that we're going to do, where you've got modern art and contemporary artists. Around 125 artists were sort of presented out there, and we've got a very good response from them.
Wonderful. So before I let you go, my last question, what are the future trends that we can expect to see in the world of Indian art?
So we expect quite a bit. In fact, we are seeing that emerging artists. So, there is contemporary, which is still established artists like Subodh Gupta, things of that nature. But we've seen that budding sort of artist is also coming along. These are artists who have just started their journey, and we've seen, in fact, their sort of the turnover has doubled in the last year. So I see the trend going towards it in terms of the contemporary and your budding artists sort of coming up in the coming future, maybe in the next couple of years.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being with us.
And thank you for sort of inviting me for this. Thanks a lot.
I
Appreciate
always love having a talk about art.
Thank you.